Hey everybody, this is CP43 with a brand new update for you guys. So we've got a whole bunch of new stuff to show you, basically these two locomotives here, detailing and weathering. And then I also want to talk about the Southern Alberta Model Railway Club, which is now back with its meetings on Tuesday evenings. So I'll talk about that for a bit. We actually have a new member coming down, and I'll let you guys know who that is right when I get to that. And yeah, so starting off, I guess, I'll start off with the GP38 here, which has seen quite a bit of detailing since the last update. I've actually kind of went a little bit overboard, but it's good progress made, and it's progress that continues to get better and better, you know, as time progresses, and it's a great way to keep me practicing with, you know, my detailing and everything. So starting off, this was one of the first things I did after the last update was the fuel tank details. So these details are Details Details Associates, and basically we have all those basic you know, parts of the fuel tank. We have the fuel filler neck, we have the fuel sight gauge, and then we also have the flush mount gauge. So I placed them all pretty much where they are on the prototype. You know, I'm probably off, but it doesn't matter with me. It's close, it looks good, and I'm happy. So, you know, I'm just not one of those very has to be perfect modelers. So, because it kind of bugs me with that. But anyways, those are finished up. I'll show you the other side here. We got those and painted them red and black, all what needed to be done and everything. So it looks good. I'm very happy with it. And now the second piece was the CP Pilot here. So this is the GMD style, this cowl scale casting. This was relatively easy to do, but it did create some troubles, and it kind of went longer than what I was expecting it to be. The pilot actually had to be masked. I had to mask it all off, and then I had to paint it through the masking tape. So it was a little bit more difficult. That was actually a first for me. I've never had to mask for the stripes before, but I think I'm going to get used to that because I'm not going to be worrying about pilot decals ever again. Here's why. Because those pilot decals that I'd put on when I had first repainted the locomotive, they've just been trouble ever since. And then also I made the mistake of masking over those decals, and they just peeled right off when I was finished. So I had to redo the whole pilot, but it turned out okay. I'm happy with it. A little bit of touching up to do, but nothing really to worry about, and that's pretty much it for it. Now all I have to do is the large anti-climber and the ditch lights, and then the MU cables and so on. So a little bit more work to do in the front, but we're definitely closing in with some progress, and I'm very happy with that. So another detail I've now added is the you guys can kind of see that there is the angled blower housing, which is the prototype for some of the GP38s, more of the later units, and 3084 is lucky enough to have one. This is the Miniatures by Eric casting that I've had for quite a while now. I think I would have been better off with a Canon & Co. You can actually go on Walther's or their website or whatever, and they have those really nice details. Those parts are just, those look way better, to be honest, but the Miniatures by Eric one is good too. It's a perfect stand-in until or if I get a Canon one, but right now this works. It took about 2 days to finish up, and it was a little bit difficult, especially with the decaling, but again, I was just kind of rushing because I wanted it finished up for last night, or Tuesday night, September 8th, which was for a club meet, and yeah, so I kind of rushed it a little bit, but I got it finished up. It looks pretty good. Paint is a little bit more darker than what I want it to be, but it's fine. So yeah, other than those details, I also have a little bit of weathering finished up, so you can kind of see here I used my soot powder and created the exhaust fumes and soot along the whole length of the locomotive, and you can kind of see some going onto the cab there. That's kind of a nice feature I've been doing now. I've actually done that on the GP9, and I'll show you guys that in just a sec. So yeah, everything's going great, and there's more still to come, of course, with more detailing and everything, but of course it's coming along fantastic. So very, very pleased with that. Next up we have the GP9. So the GP9, again, it's been a long time going since I first started this, and it is actually coming closer to being finished, which is awesome. I'm just absolutely stoked about that and everything. So we'll show you guys what's going on there. So starting off, I'm going to go with the weathering here. So I had to re-weather the whole unit, well, pretty much most parts of the locomotive, using that soot powder. And soot powder is, again, the whole length of the locomotive, and then I redid the dynamic brake blisters, and then I did the oil going down, especially on this seam of the car body, and then also on the cab. You can see that I had redone the whole cab. I actually repainted it using watered down crimson paint, and then I dull coated that after dragging the exhaust soot onto the back half of the cab. So it looks much better, more realistic, and I'm more than happy with how it turned out. So it turned out way better than I had ever expected. So I'm very pleased with that. So I'll show you guys the other side here, and then I'll move on to the details, and then we'll wrap this update up. So you can see there a little bit less oil coming down here, but there's still enough to notice. And then I added fuel, or the fire extinguisher symbol on the door there. It actually should be reversed. It should be a red fire extinguisher on a white background, but those are the only decals I got on all the sheets that I have. So, oh well, what can you do? And now to the back of the unit, where I've done painting and more detailing. I added the crossover handrail, as you can see there, and then I did the painted up the drop step, painted the cable pockets, the steps. I still have to add the white stripes onto the these steps back there, and then I did the handrails. So lots of work finished up, but I'm very happy with everything, how they came out again. And one more detail I just about forgot to mention were the pipes going up from these tanks at the back of the fuel tank, and they go up into what I call no man's land. So yeah, just fantastic. I'm loving the locomotive, and it's getting so close to being finished. Again, it's been like almost 2 years since I started it, and we'll be finishing it up at hopefully around 2 years. Of course, there's still some additional details that I want to add, and I can't exactly forget those, so it could be a while till that happens. But that's it for the locomotive, and now I can talk about the club. So the club's back on. It's been, when does it? Did we start going back? It was September 1st. So lots of fun, and we've had a new member coming, which is 1GZ Power. He's been coming down with his daughter the last 2 times, so it's been absolutely incredible having him and her running trains and everything. They've been bringing their own locomotives, and last night 1GZ Power brought a whole bunch of locomotives and a whole bunch of rolling stock. We're talking like grain cars, auto racks, intermodal cars, and we're actually surprised that the intermodal cars were able to fit through all the tunnels on the mountainous route that the club has. So yeah, it was awesome, and showed off some new locomotives and on everything else. It was just a joy having 1GZ Power there. So, and actually I took a whole bunch of photos, and he took some photos as well. He took photos the first night. I took photos just this last night, and actually I'll be posting those onto my Facebook page, which you can link at the About section if you're using a mobile, or if you're on desktop, you can find the link to my Facebook page on my channel art. And you don't have to be a Facebook user to see the page. It's for the public. So that is pretty much it, guys. I've got nothing else to talk about. A lot's been happening, so we'll try and get more stuff out, but with school going on, you know. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the update, and until then, the next video, this is CP43, and good luck.